Destinies from Lucky Duck Games is one of me and Sean's favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
So needless to say, we were chomping at the bit, super excited to check out Destinies Witchwood, the new expansion coming to Game Found soon. Let's talk about it. What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Oh, hi there, YouTube!
We are back again today for another game preview, another special tag team preview. We're here with my 9-year-old son, Sean.
What's up?
And we're going to be talking about the upcoming Destinies Witchwood from Lucky Duck Games. This is for 1 to 3 players, even though I do believe it'll expand to 4. Ages 14 plus, you can ignore that. You can easily play it with 8 or 9-year-olds very easily. And it's for 2 to 2.5 hours play. And the younger kids, I will mention that's as long as you don't mind the theme being a little bit on the darker side. Yeah. But in Destinies, the original Destinies, which was slapped a Bowers Bestial on it, you are going to be going around all these different little tiles that you're going to be uncovering because you're going to play as a character, and your character is going to have destinies that they will be trying to achieve. Now, there's lots of QR codes on this game. It is very much app integrated, and the original game, if you want to see my full review, I'll post it somewhere, was spectacular. I awarded it Bowers Bestial. I thought it was my favorite family game of that year. There was also expansions that came out for it, which took you to different parts. They took you out to the Seas of Sand, and there was an expansion that allowed it to go up to 4 players, which we did a Thoughts from the Corner on. We all really, really liked that at game night. So Destinies Witchwood is the next step in the process. So the first one, I think, was on Kickstarter, and it released a grand total of 3 expansions. This is its own separate expansion. It's Witchwood. It's going to be a 4-part expansion. Now, we only got to play the first part. That's one thing I want to mention. Typically on Bowers Game Corner, when I give something a preview, that means I don't like it enough to give it a review. In this particular situation, that's not the case, because we only played 1/4 of the pie, and I imagine we actually got to see the smallest portion of the pie. Now, also, going forward, there's spoilers. We're not going to go too deep into the gameplay spoilers, but we are going to give you the basic story so you'll know what's going on, at least for the first scenario. So Destinies Witchwood pretty much is just going to drop you into this world, and we're all going to have our own different things we're trying to achieve. One of them is like, hey, so essentially there's this flower in the woods, and the flower gives you whatever you want, pretty much, right?
You can make a wish, and the wish will come true.
And I do want to mention that Sean's played this twice. I've only played it once, but you'll understand why in a minute. So pretty much, there's another one. She has terrible dreams or whatever, and she just wants to get rid of her dreams. The story, and this is the first thing, because we're going to get into review mode now, because this is it's a preview, but I am going to be interweaving the thoughts. The story is okay. Like, I don't feel like it's a great story. It's like, hey, it really feels like, hey, we need you to go do something, so you need this flower.
Yeah, it's basically, you want to prove yourself. Go get a flower. You want to get rid of bad dreams. Go get a flower. You want to not marry a guy that your father said you had to marry. Go get a flower.
Yeah, and those are the 3 different characters that you play at, and each one has their own thing they're trying to achieve, but they have 2 different ways they can try and achieve that, 2 different ways they can do their destiny. So you're going to be exploring this world, and you're going to be constantly uncovering tiles, and I'm assuming if you've gotten this far, you probably know enough about Destinies. If not, pause this video and go watch a review of Destinies. So we're going to be talking about just the expansion content and what's going to be coming in. So it's going to be 4 different stories. We played through the first one. And I know the first thing that you're probably asking, if you're familiar with Destinies, is what's new? And Sean's actually played Destinies, I think, about as much as I have. He's played a good chunk of it. What did you feel like was new in Witchwood, so far, at least in the first scenario? Because this is one thing, I will say, this is one of the negative things about it, is that I was hoping for a bigger step. I was hoping there was just going to be a little bit more, whereas this feels a lot of the same, and a lot of the same is still fantastic. Once again, I slapped a Bowers Bestial on it. I love Destinies. But I was hoping for a bit more. What did you think about that? So what's new?
I saw that there was, like, traveling traders that would just, like, move from, like, one place to another place to the next place.
And let's pause at each one. And that was one of the things that I noticed was new, and I like that new change. And anytime you can just make the world feel more alive in a game like this, I think it's a good thing. Because what could happen is Sean might sell something to the trader, and then the trader might wander around, and then I might pick up that thing, and then we can connect that thematically, because the whole time you're playing a game like this, because once again, I do want to specify that I put this in the family weight category. We're role-playing this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like we're talking about our story. And so the traveling traders, big thumbs up. I think that's a fantastic addition. I love it. Not to mention, it makes it so if you're stuck in a certain location, that location might not suck as much, because sometimes you're stuck in a certain spot. Having a traveling trade bird rolled up could be pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So we're both in agreement we like that one.
And then another thing I found was, there was a lot of separate tiles that weren't connected, so you had to go paths.
Yes, that's one of the big things they have is travel. So essentially, the idea that there's a path here, as you put it, and you can go to one of these 3 locations, and these 3 locations will once again be made up by the tiles, but the tiles would be slightly off to the side to tell you that, hey, this is its own separate area right here. Once again, I love this idea. I don't think this is totally new to this one, though. Didn't they do something like this in Seas of Sand?
Yeah, but this one, it was way more of that.
And that's a fantastic point. I didn't tell him to say that. That's exactly how I feel about this game. I love the new things, but I was just expecting a bit more. And maybe they're just playing it really close to the vest. That could be the case. But yes, what did you think about that? The new ways to travel.
I liked it, especially since there was different things that would happen while you were traveling along the path. I found a toad.
Oh, and you need the toad for one of the witches, I imagine, because there's lots of witches in this. It's very.
Oh yeah, there's 3 witches.
You don't want to go too in depth about that, but you have to deal with some witches, and you have some funny encounter with the witches, and you have all the Destiny stuff. And honestly, the Destinies, I don't want to bury the lead here. This is great. If you have kids between the ages of 8 to whatever, I think this is one you absolutely 100% should consider. Watch a gameplay video, see if it's for you, because it's a fantastic experience, and it's a heck of a fun time. Now, for the game night, if your game night, and here's the other thing, for the game night, it's still great, because I don't know. Anyway, continue. We'll get back to that when we get more of the thoughts. So there's the travel. Now, they also talk about mazes. So those were a little bit of keep going. Were you going to mention that?
Yeah. There was mazes where you had to wander off and you had to fight your way through the maze, or outsmart creatures in the maze or something.
So they pretty much expand on that, because that was also another thing in Sea of Sands, but it felt like this time it was just a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
So it felt like it was more likely for stuff to happen than you to be like, oh, your turn's over. Which is awesome. Mm-hmm. So we got the traveling merchants. We got the travel, we got the maze, we got the sub-maps. Actually, I think that's about everything that it looks like it's new, at least that they mention in this booklet right here. Mm-hmm. So, what did you think about it?
I really enjoyed it.
And I did as well. I loved it. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm excited to come back to it with another group of people and try a different character. And once again, we finished the game and Sean was like, hey, Dad, can I play this solo? And you played through the other character. Mm-hmm. And did you have a different time?
Uh-huh.
Cool. Do you feel like you saw everything so this is a great question. You played it twice. Do you feel like you saw everything for the first scenario?
I don't know about everything. There was a couple of tiles that I didn't explore.
So a couple whole tiles, which could have had different interests and events and things. So there was still, so you would still like to play this again just to see what's different at those spots. Are you saying that? Would you say that? Mm-hmm. Okay. And once again, so that's saying you're probably going to get 2 to 3 plays out of this, guaranteed, of each one of these. Because that's another thing that I know a lot of people are concerned about. What's the replayability on a game like this? Because some of them, you play through it and you pretty much know all the bells and whistles. Mm-hmm. You played any games like that before, buddy?
Yeah, you should probably wait about a week or 2, maybe even a month before playing it again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that's a good piece of advice. And then the other thing is, this is a 60 to 90 minute game. I think we played 90 minutes for the first one. It actually ended up being closer to 2 hours after we did some editing and tricks and stuff like that. And I imagine the scenarios in the middle are going to be a little bit more meaty. Now, one thing they did mention in here, and we couldn't talk, we don't know for sure, is how they're hoping to interconnect these stories a little bit more. And I think that's a really interesting, delicate balancing act they have to do, because if you're kicking somebody's butt, you don't want that to carry over from game to game, right? Because you don't want to start the game and be like, oh man, I'm just going to get my butt kicked. But at the same time, as a gamer, you want these stories to be interconnected. It's not like you want the decisions you made in the first game to connect on the second game, you know what I mean? Or at least the story at the very minimum.
Yeah, how they did in Seas of Sand.
Yes. Now, they're saying they're going to do that, but we can't speak to that, so that does get me excited. Mm-hmm. So, anything that you didn't like about this, Sean? Let's go to that. Any cons? Because it looks like it's mostly pros for both of us. It's okay to say.
I really liked it, but there was a lot of magic. There was like, I like magic, but there was like magic here, magic there.
Well, it is Witchwood. I mean, that is the theme of it. So that would make sense. So that's just
Witchwood?
witches. I mean, witches. Witches do magic. And that's why there's so many witches in it. So that makes sense.
That explains the giant monster witch hut on the front.
It does. So for me personally, I still wish there was some narration in the app. That'd be nice. There is some narration for like the very beginning, but then you pretty much after that there's none. And I know that would be a huge endeavor, but I think that would be something that would be fantastic. Don't you agree, Sean?
Yeah, there's also cool background music.
There is. There's fantastic background music. The app, once again, we had no issues with it. In fact, whatever they did new with the QR, I think was even easier. They have like something now where you don't just do the QR, but you actually press the button down. Yeah. I felt like that worked a lot better. Do you?
Like, I remember one time when I was playing the original one where I was trying to scan my Destiny to ask somebody about it, but I did the other one that I absolutely paid no attention to.
Yeah, and so it looks like they've improved technologically there, which is definitely what you want to see. And my only real net con with this was that I was just hoping that it was a bigger step up, because I love this system so much. I think just this system of just moving up the different attributes and doing skill checks is so much fun, and it's so fantastic, and the app is fantastic. And this game, I still think, is a fantastic, great game. Like, I totally recommend this one. You know, last time I played through one campaign, I slapped a Bowers Bastille because I was that hot on the game. I don't know if I'm going to do it this time, though, just because, you know, back then, Lucky Duck Games was just on top. Like, app-driven games have come so far in the last 5 years. It's astounding. Anywho, rambling. Recommend this. Really think you're going to like it. Watch the gameplay video. See if it'd be for your group. As a solo game, I think it's a lot of fun. Ignore the box. Sean agrees. I think this is a heck of a fun solo experience as well.
Favorite game. One of my favorite games of all time.
And it's easily in my top 100 games of all time as well. That is Destinies Witchwood. I can't wait until they finally just ramp it up and we get that full, like we start ripping in some Euro and worker placement in here somehow. Like, woo! Like, what? I'm waiting for it. I know they're working on it. But this is still fantastic. Destinies Witchwood, Lucky Duck Games. Check this one out. The Game Found Project is below. Tell them Bowers Game Corner sent you. And as always, if you're enjoying the content, please click on the subscribe button. And let me know in the comments below. Destinies, what book, video game, movie you want slapped on there? What theme? Boom. Destinies what?
I want...
Oh, I know what I want.
Oh, you can go first.
Destinies Harry Potter. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine 7 stories? Or 7 games. Hell, give me 7. Yeah, okay. What do you want?
I want...
Did I take yours now?
No.
I thought. Because we're looking right now, we were about to set up... Right now, the game below us is Harry Potter's... what is it? Sorcerer's Stone game.
You gotta get through all this stuff.
Yeah, so I thought maybe that was on his brain. But anyway, what do you think?
I want Destinies. Oh, I know. I want Destinies. What do you call it? Star Wars.
Ooh, that'd be a cool one too. Let me know in the comments below. Destinies blank. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. This video is brought to you by all of my amazing Patreon supporters, and I would love it if you would join their ranks and have your name immortalized in the end of many of my videos for the end of time. But consider for only $1 a month, and as always, thanks for stopping by.
Ahoy there, YouTube!
Oh, you go ahead. I forgot you were going to do it.